Good afternoon. It is Friday, October 11th, and welcome to this year's first edition of The Pulse. I'm Glyza Fuentes.
And I'm Tyler Berry. Thank you so much for joining us. We are thrilled to be back and airing our program. On this week's episode, Sam Hedlund will cover an 80s and 90s icon brought back to life on your smartphone.
While Jack Beauregard reports on what is normally a minor summer inconvenience is anything but for Manchester's student athletes.
Then, Sam Mushinski will bring us an inside look on how the new flex plans are affecting staff and students. And Katie Lee will answer the questions regarding our Fanzone name.
Finally, Cam Darcy and Anthony Mazzata will give us a preview of their new sports segment, Fly By Sports.
We have all this and much more on this week's program. Stay tuned because you're watching
The Pulse.
TV studio, The Pulse starts now.
Recently, Mario Kart has been released on mobile phones, causing lots of excitement amongst students and perhaps less excitement from teachers. Sam Hedlund puts his phone down for this profile.
I'm not even gonna lie, I'm really addicted to this game. Playing it right now.
But for the next few months, I know I'm gonna hate Mario Kart.
Mario Kart has finally returned, available to all on mobile.
So Mario Kart is basically a multiplayer game where there's around like 12 different people who are on a cart and they just race. And there's a lot of items you can gather to go and hit other people, knock them away, do anything you can to not let them get in first when you want to get first. And if you win, you can get a spin wheel, unlock characters, cars, all that good stuff, you know the vibes.
Putting behind how much fun it is, this addicting game has caused controversy at Manchester High School. Hector Sanchez, MHS student and Mario Kart player, believes the game has helped him and is not distracting in class.
I don't think at all the game's a distraction. I think it's more of an exercise because my thumbs have improved so much. I've been able to pick up more groceries, 30 bags one hand.
MHS teacher Lindsay Lockhart supports the opposing side, believing Mario Kart is distracting and taking away from work.
I tell my students this is their job while they're here, and you can't play video games while you're at work, so you can't play Mario Kart while you're at work, especially if you're under the desk, you know, shifting your phone around.
Despite the fun that Mario Kart brings to MHS students, focusing in class and doing your schoolwork is a priority over video games. From The Pulse, this has been Sam Hedlund reporting.
MHS are on opposing sides as to whether Mario Kart is a distraction in class. Mario Kart is definitely a fun game, but it shouldn't take priority over schoolwork.
Speak for yourself on that one, Glyza. I'd gladly play Mario Kart over doing schoolwork. The recent outbreak of the EEE virus in surrounding towns has impacted people's outdoor plans. Manchester High School student athletes aren't immune to the trouble.
Due to a case of EEE in the neighboring town of South Windsor, the Manchester Board of Education has taken precautions in hopes to avoid contact with the infected mosquitoes. They have issued a mandatory curfew at 5:30 p.m. for all after-school programs that take place outdoors. For our athletic director, Mr. Boudelier, this was a no-brainer.
Overblown? No. I mean, if the health department and the state are making those recommendations, that's what they get paid to do. They're the experts in that area, so if they're recommending those things, then we follow them.
The main activities affected are football and soccer.
This coming Friday, the boys' soccer, we're supposed to have a night game. That got moved to a regular after-school start.
For Manchester High student Nate Shermanak, he has been left disappointed.
Weekend practices have a different vibe, and now that we don't have that, we have a longer break in between, so we come out rusty at the start of the week, and we just don't bring that energy at the start of the week.
Also, the fan side of Nate misses football games.
In night football games, there's just a whole different energy from the fans, and in these day games, not many people are committed to going because of after-school activities, and it's just, there's no energy because everyone's tired out from school.
Although it is getting colder and damper by the day, unfortunately, this mandatory curfew will not be lifted until the first frost of the season. From The Pulse, this has been Jack Beauregard reporting.
Mr. Boudelier and administration are taking the safety of student athletes seriously and will be taking all necessary precautions.
Definitely a scary situation, but let's lighten up the mood with a quick word from our sponsor.
3, 2, 1, let's go. Hello, I'm Drew Jamal. Good evening, Manchester. Thank you so much for tuning into The Pulse. The Pulse with Andrew Suey is back.
Abdul.
Andrew Suey is graduated. But without Andrew Suey's back. Sorry about that. Make sure to tune in every week by going to mhstelevision.com and you won't miss a program. This year, Jessica Party, Katie Lee, JT Weeks, Sam Mushinski, and more will bring us the stories. In 3, 2, 1, let's go! All that and more on this episode of The Pulse. Fade it out!
Good job.
Thanks, Abdul. This year's Flex is a little bit different for students at MHS. Instead of happening year-round, Flex is only happening at specific times each quarter. And we wonder if this is causing confusion and controversy among the students and staff.
To the average person, 30 minutes isn't always spent in the most productive way. But to MHS students and staff, the 30 minutes of Flex every day can be very valuable. 2 years ago, Flex was introduced to MHS in place of Power Hour and quickly became vital to students who just need a little extra time to work in their classes.
When I have classes or assignments or anything that I'm struggling with, I go to that specific teacher and I use it. They help me with anything that I need help with because sometimes I can't really make it after school. Either I have sports or I have other things that I have to go to. So like this little break in the day where I can visit any teacher that I need to helps me.
This problem is further expressed when the workload is increased with honors and AP classes.
I don't know, for me, I take a lot of challenging classes, so like especially for AP classes, it would have been nice to be able to see them early on and get more help early on, but I didn't have the opportunity because they took Flex away for the beginning portion.
Teachers also understand the importance of Flex for students throughout the year.
I have lots of students who come to visit. Because I teach AP courses, students are always looking for time to come in, go over their homework, ask them questions about things they didn't understand in class, or even have a chance to work together. Because of their busy schedules, they don't always have time after school or weekends to do that. So knowing there's Flex to do that, they can schedule together.
It is clear that this mere 30 minutes has become an important part of student life, and its lack of appearances is having a negative effect on student performance. From Manchester, this has been Sam Mushinski reporting.
It is clear that the lack of Flex is causing concern with students and staff. Make sure you take advantage of Flex time when you have it.
Recently, new gym changes have taken place within MHS that students seem to be excited about. Justin Keller laces up to bring us the story.
A new school year starts a new battle, and with students jumping into their classes, there have already been significant changes to make these classes flow more fluently. Even an age-old class like physical education has its changes. Students now have the option to choose from one of 3 activities.
The goal is to try to give kids more opportunities and let them enjoy what they're trying to accomplish in PE, but also giving them the opportunity to change activities enough so they don't feel like it's getting stagnant.
Gym has quickly become a class that Tony and others have been looking forward to.
I do look forward to gym because it gives me more of a chance to have fun and not just be bored the whole class.
With this new curriculum, gym has made a positive, lasting impact on many students here at MHS and their feelings towards athletics. From The Pulse, this has been Justin Keller reporting.
The gym changes are definitely making most students want to participate more in gym, and I think that's a great idea.
With the adoption of the new mascot, the Red Hawk, some fans wonder whether Manchester's Fanzone, known as the Tribe, is due for a new name as well. Katie Lee investigates.
The MHS Fanzone, better known as the Tribe, has to deal with a mascot change that has affected the name. Owen Atzbach, leader of the Fanzone, has to make a tough decision for our student body and how we will implement the name.
As a Fanzone, I think we kind of just have to accept the new mascot change and move forward with it. I know not everyone wanted it. I know some people did want to get changed, so as a school we just have to accept that and keep going with it and support it. And then for new Fanzone names, I think I've gotten a couple good suggestions sent to me that I'm going to put in a poll soon, just hopefully I can get more.
Just like Owen, other students are taking action in the name change. Mr. Skripik is holding a meeting with students in room 221 about the name change.
So I would say, I think for the mascot change, for me personally, I have been really excited to see some of the changes that have come down the pike, especially after the student activist team presented to the Board of Education, made their compelling case back in June. There's been a lot of great work that's happened over the summer to make sure that both structurally here at the school, some of the signs that we used to have are taken down, that are, we're trying to rebuild kind of our culture around the Red Hawk.
We also asked Mr. Boudelier, the athletic director at Manchester High School, how he felt about the name change.
I think the mascot change has been great. It seems like there's a lot of excitement with the student body and parents and in the community. I know it got off to in the community a little rough start, but I think everybody's coming around to it. But I think it's great.
No matter what the fan zone is called, we will still support our athletes. From the Pulse, this has been Katie Lee reporting.
No matter what the fan zone name is or becomes, we hope all fans come out to support our athletes with the same pride and enthusiasm.
Cameron Darcy and Anthony Mazzato will be airing a new sports segment on the Pulse called Fly By Sports. Here's an exclusive sneak peek of what's to come.
We got this. All right. I'm Anthony. And I'm Cam. This is Fly My Sports.
What's going on, MHS? You just saw the intro for our new sports segment here on the Pulse called Fly By Sports.
Each episode will have two athletes compete in an obstacle course challenge to see if they can hold their own outside their own.
We'll also be running them through some unique challenges and getting to know them a little bit better.
If you have any ideas for challenges or any athletes that should be featured on this program, please email Mr. Larson at b11elars@mpspride.org.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Make sure you stay tuned for our first episode airing October 25th.
Looks very interesting. Check out the October 25th edition of The Pulse to see the first episode. I can't wait to see what direction Cam and Moose take the show in.
Recurring segments have been a big hit in the past, but hopefully this one's no different.
Next week on The Pulse, JT Weeks and Sean Moriarty will be taking on the baby simulators for a day and hoping for the best, while Alec Byros brings us an inside look on the SROs here at MHS and details how they ensure the safety of students and staff.
And Lena Morawski will cover the new app TikTok and its uprising among teens. If you have any story ideas we might have missed, you can email Mr. Larson at b11elars@mpspride.org.
To learn more about The Pulse or to check out some of our other projects, visit our website at mhstelevision.com.
And don't forget to follow us on Twitter and like us on Facebook at MHS Red Prod. I'm Tyler Berry.
And I'm Glaza Fuentes. This has been The Pulse.